cheer captain.
I'm Addison Whaley, and I'm the varsity cheer captain.
I'm Maggie Burks, and I play girls basketball.
I'm Addison Holcomb, and I play girls basketball.
James Brown, girls basketball head coach.
Preston Boyd, varsity boys basketball coach.
Isaiah Jones, I play varsity basketball.
I'm Tatum Brown. I do indoor track.
I'm Blaze Carey. I'm the head indoor and outdoor track coach.
Good morning, Johnny Thornton, WKULFM, GameDayWeekly.com. We'll start out with Coach Boyd. I've asked all the coaches today about the rule change this year for free throws and team fouls. How'd you first feel about it once you learned about it, as far as what the purpose was by the National Federation of High Schools, and their reports were to try to upgrade so much rough play inside, especially on free throws?
Coach Brown and I've talked about it. We kind of talk about pace of play and things of that nature that go into all that. I'm kind of in wait and see mode, just because, you don't know how it's going to affect and how players will react and stuff like that. I like the fact that you get 8 fouls each half without potentially giving up a free throw. So, that could be, an advantage. I think you get a lot of strategy toward the end of quarters now with some coaches possibly. But I'm kind of in a wait and see mode as far as that's concerned, like how it's actually going to end up affecting the game.
Really, for the moment right now, does it not, as far as the way you want to play defensively, as far as what I call full court pressure, kind of everybody may play some chaotic defense, and also about what you can get away with and what you can't get away with in regards of defense like hand checking and arm bars?
Since I've been coaching, this will be my 12th year. Defense has been becoming so much more physical as far as what you're allowed to get by with. And, it used to be automatically you touch somebody with 2 hands, they call a foul. Back taps a lot of times when I first started coaching. They knew you probably popped them on the wrist, to pop that ball out or whatever. But things have changed a lot on the defensive end. I do think that there's teams, and we played some this summer, that just flat out knew that. I had the coach come up to me after the game and said, Coach, we knew they weren't calling fouls. We're going to get super aggressive with you. But, even you see that over regular season play. Postseason really gets aggressive. Defense really ramps up. The aggressiveness of the defenders is loud. Physicality is much more loud, but it's even getting that way with regular season too. So, like I said, if you're at the end of a quarter or something like that, and you can play with a foul, especially if you have a depth player in, I think strategy comes into play for sure. Especially if we get toward the end of quarter timeout. Last minute and a half, hey, guys, we got 1 foul to give. Make sure you don't get beat to the rim or something like that. Go ahead and use a foul. Now, again, if we have guys that we got to be smart about it. You don't want a guy in foul trouble, giving up a crazy foul. But if you have some depth players in and you got a couple fouls to play with, I think you get more strategic for sure.
The opportunities for free throws may be less than they have before. How much more emphasis as far as during workouts for your team to get an accuracy, especially some players may not be able to shoot the ball from the foul line as good as others?
We do work on it at times, and we've done a lot of off-season stuff this year, but it boils down to guys being able to make shots. You can work on, into practice, you're fatigued and all that kind of stuff if you want to, but there's nothing like pressure at the end of a game. We played in a tournament this summer, and we end up going to sudden death with a team, and we got this whole gym's packed out, and one of our guys misses, I think it's 2 free throws, right? He missed both of them. Well, then in the other team got fouled. We fouled them. That guy missed both free throws because the gym's going crazy. You can't, emulate that in practice. You can sit there in a gym and you can get up all the free throws that you want, but until you get in the game, you never know how a guy's going to handle that, who's going to be affected by it or whatever. So you want to practice it. You want to be able to put guys in the best position to be successful, obviously, but it boils down at the end of the moment, can you make that shot?
Well, it's the easiest case scenario here, too, as far as late in the ball game now, is to make sure the ball is in the proper hands as far as free throw shooters, as far as a quality point guard, good wing guards, and maybe wing forwards that they can handle the ball, but also can step to the line knowing they're going to get a 2-shot opportunity and try to cash in from there.
Right. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I agree.
Sliding down to Tatum, just what events are you getting ready to compete in, in indoor this upcoming season, and just how are you preparing yourself for that?
I'm really just throwing shot put and indoor. I'm really good at throwing discus, I think. But really just got to work on shot put at the moment. It's my weak spot. That's about it, really.
How much does preparing for indoor help you get ready for, because I know it spills right over into outdoor, and you're not doing all the same events in indoor, but just how beneficial is it to have some time to do indoor track before outdoor gets ramping up and get a little bit of a kind of double dip there?
I think throwing shot put especially, you can add like 10, 15 feet if you really focus on it in indoor. Outdoor comes around and you've been throwing it more than everybody else. It just really helps.
And then just for Coach Carey, just what are, I guess from the coaching perspective, like what are some of the challenges of getting ready for indoor season when you've got like all the fall sports still going and probably waiting on some kids here and there?
Well, indoor I haven't really pushed a lot because there are a lot of people in other sports, so some are still staying in shape. I always encourage some to do it though. This will be Tatum's first time doing it. The NCAA Division I championships were there. It's a state-of-the-art facility. And then you get to throw against Hoover, Vestavia, Mountain Brook. All the big schools. And so I think more than anything, it helps with practice, but it helps you to see what you could be, where you could be. And so he's been working hard. He is good at discus. He's being modest. He's improved, like almost doubled his throwing from the beginning of the season last year. And he's been going to working with a former number 5 discus thrower in the world, and going to some camps with him. And he is in my room probably every day. Hey, check this video out, and showing me his shot and discus throws, and so he's helped me learn just as much as he's been learning. So hopefully he'll take that not only with him, but helping. He's been recruiting other people to help them get more people on the team, and hopefully will be a throwing powerhouse or something. But yes.
And then just to drift to the cheerleaders in the back, you guys have the county cheer competition coming up at the end of October. So just what are you guys doing to get yourselves ready for that?
We're having to prepare a lot, not just in our routine, but the competition itself, because Vinemont is the host this year, so that's super excited for that. I would say one thing, we are branching and extending out a lot more competitions this year. We're doing, I think, close to 7, so that's a lot more compared to last year. So, we're just working really hard. We have several private coaches that we meet with several times a week, several hours, and we're practicing every day for multiple hours to prepare.
I think that this year we have a really good advantage of placing higher at county. Our team is more experienced, and we have a lot more tumblers this year than we did last year, and I think we're working really hard.
Yeah, just basically what Callie said. We're really working to defend our regional championship from last year, so that's kind of been like our motive to get back in there and win again.
Awesome. And then just sliding down to the girls basketball, just talk a little bit about how the preseason has gone for you guys as y'all gear up, get ready to start playing here in a few weeks.
I think it's went really well. We played really good in the summer, and I honestly think that we're going to have a pretty good season.
I think we did really good in the summer, and if we work hard during the regular season, we'll have a really good season.
And then just same from the coach's perspective.
We branched out and tried to go during the summer, go play some different places and see some different teams, and we're able to schedule a little different during the summer and just see some different basketball. And I think when you can get a variety, that's always going to help you.
And then just one for Coach Boyd real quick. Obviously I'm counting 5 seniors, I think, if I'm counting correctly. Just how encouraging is that for you, having all these guys coming back with a lot of game experience, and how much easier does that make as far as kind of getting the team bought in and allowing the seniors to kind of take a leadership role?
We're kind of a mixture this year. So Isaiah and Jackson, Holcomb, and Jordan Eller have all got a lot of varsity experience with us. And I think that, again, he's one of the best lead by example guys that I've ever had, and which is one of the reasons why he's here with me today. So we're going to really count on their leadership from that perspective for sure, because we've got a little bit of a dynamic of we've got 2 freshmen that should be significant players for us this year as well as a sophomore. So their leadership is going to be extremely important. Sometimes, I mean, you're going to end up with, mostly seniors and juniors on a varsity level team. And, you get leadership from the juniors, but with us having such younger guys, we're going to have our seniors step up. That way they set the standard in which the freshmen, one of the reasons they're up with me is because they're so impressive as far as getting in there and working hard. And, I mean, there's no, hey, man, you need to go harder. You need to do this better. I mean, they're getting in there and they're wanting to learn. So, and again, we've got good leadership this year. So definitely leaning on, again, Jackson, Jordan, and Isaiah to provide that for us for sure.
Coach Brown, your program the last couple of years has been on an upswing in victories, and you return a majority of your ball club. Talk about how you continue to see this team as far as maturity as a whole, togetherness as a whole, and working on displaying new strengths and eliminating weaknesses.
So it's going to sound kind of cliche, but the thing for us basketball-wise was being able to communicate with our teammate and on the court in a fast pace, and the teammate receiving the message in the proper way and not taking the message wrong. And that's a sign of maturity. When you're able to receive message, even though it may come across as wrong, being able to understand that we're just trying to communicate in a hurried fashion, and just maturing in communication, I think, is just huge and massive. We are returning a lot of experience, and at this point, I quit calling my group young, even though we have a young roster age-wise. Experience-wise, we are not young. We've got a couple girls that have been playing up for a long time, and it's time for them to take that maturity process and start working on the things that are going to make us better. For example, like cutting down on turnovers. Those things that come with maturity and ball handling are the primary focuses.
You've had the last couple of years of 3 outstanding young ladies in the backcourt of Whitney Quick, Reagan Robinson, and Caroline Miller. What do you see about them as far as they continue to move forward as far as grade level as well as experience level?
Taking care of the ball. Their court vision's always been great, but it's understanding the other concepts that go with their court vision. Their court vision's been awesome ever since they were youth age and watching them play youth age. They see and know where their teammates are at. But they don't. Sometimes they underestimate the physical abilities of a defensive player on the floor, and they think they can fit a pass into a tight window that might not necessarily be there. And those are the things that they are maturing and understanding now.
Not just singling out those 3, but for them being young, they're sophomores this year,
yes,
correct? Do at times that they underestimate about their potential, about how good they are, they kind of sell themselves a little bit short because of maturity?
Yes, I think it's a large part of it is age. They see themselves a little bit inferior just because they're not an upperclassman, and we've had to talk extensively about that for a lot of my young ones that are very capable. The one that's sitting next to me also, Addison, she's very capable of many things on the floor for us, but she doesn't view it that way sometimes because the other girls are older or whatever. And we talk about all the time, I didn't bring these girls up at a young age because they weren't capable. I brought them up because they were, and it'd be valuable experience for
them. Coach Boyd, talk about getting ready for the season. It looks like Faultville will be your first game of the year, and then you got Holly Pond and St. Bernard.
Yes, sir. This year is the first year that I've had an athletic period at Vinemont, so we've been trying to utilize that to the best of our abilities. And we have a lot of guys that chose not to play football this year, so we've been able to work with quite a few. Now, we've got some key pieces. I forgot that I left out Dawson Wilhite a little earlier. He's another senior that we're definitely going to be depending on as far as leadership, and means a lot to our program, and he's with football right now. But, I mean, I don't know how many mornings he's getting up, and he's up there before school starts getting shots up. There's other members of the team that are up there with him too, getting shots up before school. So all those different things that you try to teach as a coach or preach as a coach and try to tell guys like you have to put the work in. Like we've got guys that are buying in. And I do think it'll probably take us a little bit of time maybe to kind of like gel together just a little bit. Like I said, we got the summer. We made a lot of improvements over the summer. But early part of the season, I think as our team's working its way together, it may take us just a little bit of time just to be comfortable playing together.
How's it so different now, as I am noticing about different ball clubs, different sports are having workouts before they go to class? That was something that was never part of my frontier, and I'm trying to understand it. But how does that come about, as far as that these young people understand about getting up early? Their structure may change a little bit to be at a school before 7 a.m. and going through a physical regimen before they even step into the classroom around 8 o'clock.
Right. Again, that's nothing that we've required out of him. That's everything that he's been willing to put in. And, I mean, at the end of the day, like you're either willing to work really hard or you're not. There's times that you're going to have to put in extra work, extra effort. Again, coaches only get so much time with you. If you're going to make progress, then you have to go out on your own and be willing to put things together on your own. And one of the best ways that he's found to do it, and some of our other guys too, have been to get up early, get up there, get shots up. But again, that's nothing. I didn't press him on that, and that's one thing I want to give him credit for. That wasn't anything that I went to Isaiah. You better be up here at 6 a.m. getting shots up. This is what he's done, and again, that's a testament to who he is as a player, who he is as a leader, and like I said, other guys are going up there with him too. So, we're working hard when we're in seventh period and everything, but like the before school stuff, that's all engaged off players, and that's, I don't know, that's what every coach wants.
Yeah, it's certainly different now. Just trying to understand about the philosophy of it compared to how it was years ago. I don't know if it was by restriction, but of course now there's so much more freedom as far as about rules and regulations, even though there is a strict policy by the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Right. Yeah, like when I first started at Vinemont, we had where we could only get 50% of players, so I could work with 3 players at a time, 2 hours a week. Now you're allowed 2 hours with everybody at the end, after school hours and everything. So that was 4 days a week working with 3 guys, and you have to get kind of creative with how you're going to structure that. I think some of the rule changes have been positive. But again, like being at a school like we are, I always encourage our guys to play as much as possible. I want guys playing football. I want guys playing baseball. I want guys running track, just so that they're getting out and experiencing different things. But my whole thing with it is too, if you're out of season, like we're going to be putting work in. Like we're not going to lay around. We're not just going to, wait till basketball season to come around again. Whether it's working out. Whether it is getting the 2 hours in that you're allowed to get in, but now that having seventh period has been a real blessing. So, like I've coached football too. So sometimes the reason why basketball guys don't want to play football is because they don't want to work hard enough. They don't want to get in the weight room, and I've never wanted that to be a case. I've never wanted that to be a situation. So, and again, I haven't had to run into that since I've been here.
Let's just talk a little bit in closing statement, allow our athletes to make a closing statement regarding what your goals are for this upcoming year and your expectations, what you want to get out of your season this coming year.
I want to go back to what Addison said too. I know that coming back off of a win like that, regionals, that was a really hard win for us, and that's something that Vinemont, the cheer program in general, has been working towards for a long time. There's been some great coaches that have came before me that have helped to build that program, so I'm thankful to them, and I'm thankful for a good group of girls that are hardworking. And I completely agree with what Coach Boyd said. You got to put the work in afterwards, and I have a good group that do that, so I cannot wait to see what all they accomplish this year.
This year, our goals are to win our regionals again, place higher at county, and get a bid to state and nationals.
This year, our goals are to grow closer together as a team and to make sure that we are good at working together and to place higher in state.
This year, our goals, I think, are to do better in county and go farther, because last year, I think we competed very well with the teams that we played.
This year, I think I want to win some of the games we haven't won in the past and maybe go to regionals and win.
as a coach, the goal for me is us to get to regionals and see and play, and that's kind of the target that I put out there for them. They already grow up in Coleman County, so they already have that desire to perform well in the county, so I don't have to put that on them. What I want to see them do is perform better at area, and we perform and get out of sub-regionals and get to regionals and see what we can do from there.
Yeah, I mean, piggyback off Coach Brown, I mean, it's about how we compete in the area and what position we can give ourselves to hopefully advance in the playoffs.
I'd say winning area is definitely a big goal for all of us, and I speak for most of the team when I say that. We'd all like to do great in the county this year just because we're very competitive, but I'd say our biggest goal is definitely winning area.
Indoor track, it's really competitive. It's really just person versus person. I really just want to go out there and compete. Everybody really wants to go out there and compete and just win.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it continues to light the fire in Tatum, and I don't know, maybe him start believing he's as good a shot putter as he is a discus thrower. He starts believing that. I think he can win, and I think sky's the limit. He works hard and he believes in himself. Great things will happen. So that's my hope.